Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to all our 12 Monarchs out there in Monarch Nation, coming off what was clearly the most frustrating game we've ever played here at Old Dominion, a loss down at Florida International. We went into the game as an underdog playing on the road, felt like we needed to be very aggressive in all facets of the game. We had some very clear goals in this game that we were going to try to make game-changing plays. You know, when you go on the road and you are an underdog, you need to do that. You need to be aggressive in all phases, whether it's going forward on fourth down, onside kicks, all of those things you need to do to be successful. And the frustration lies in the fact that we had 500 yards of offense in this game and only scored 12 points. Generally, you're going to get about 7 points for every 100 yards. So we felt like this clearly should have been at least 35 points, but we hurt ourselves with 3 turnovers in the second half. We hurt ourselves with 3 opportunities to score from the 1-yard line right before halftime, and we allowed 236 passing yards in the third quarter alone on 5 long passes in that quarter, where that definitely changed the outcome of the game. Special teams, we got a pretty good performance from our punter, Satchel Zifri, had 3 punts for 53 yards. The first one he punted, he hit a little bit low, and the goal was to force a fair catch out of Leonard every time. We didn't. He got a 44-yard return. That gave him a short field that led to a touchdown. We lost 4 points with our PAT field goal unit. We gave up a block on the first extra point when we were going to make it 14-7. Didn't execute. We missed a field goal, had a high snap, and that affected the kick. And then our kickoff team, the opening kick, we deferred the toss. We wanted to kick off with the wind. We were trying to kick it deep to the left. Ball should have been out of the back of the end zone because we didn't want Leonard to get it, and our kicker mishits it, puts it in the middle of the field away from our coverage, and they get a 54-yard return, which led to a short field in the opening touchdown. And then at 14-6, we missed a wide-open onside kick. We've never had an onside kick that was more open than that first one, and we simply didn't hit the ball 10 yards. So overall, not a good performance from our special teams. Defensively, our number one goal was to shut down their run game. They had talked during the week about they wanted to come in and run the ball. We did not perform well the previous week against Charlotte, and the run game is a major focus. And in this game, they had 33 carries for 58 yards. So we accomplished that goal. We wanted to turn them into strictly a passing team, and in the past game, as I mentioned, we had 1 very bad quarter. The other 3 quarters, we averaged 50 yards passing per quarter, which if we'd have stayed on that average in the third quarter, they'd have had a 200-yard passing game. But that 1 bad quarter really hurt us. We were very poor in coverage in the third quarter, and it was a combination of route recognition and then not tackling very well, and give them a lot of credit. Alex Maguza, he's a top-level quarterback in this league. He's proven it. You know, he's only turned the ball over 3 times in 8 games, so he's a good football player. And their tight ends on the Mackey watch list. Smith's an excellent player, and he played big in this game. Offensively, I mentioned 500 yards and only 12 points, which I've never been around before. As I mentioned, generally when you have that many yards, you're going to score at least 35 points. We had 300 yards rushing. Lowry with 162, Cox, who started the game, had 50 yards, and then Pascal on the 1 carry to open the second half had a 75-yard touchdown run. 200 yards passing. David was just okay in this game. He missed some throws and a couple reads. He had 1 very poor decision in the third quarter when it was a 20-12 game. And we had a first down. We just gotten a first down, and he kind of threw the ball up for grabs to Zach instead of taking the check down. We had a double move on that play, and they ran a zone pressure, so the corner was bailing, and the throw wasn't there to Zach. He should have come down to the underneath route, and he threw it up, and then that was an interception. And then we had the nice pass by Zach Pascal on the double pass. I thought our offensive line was solid in this game. They only allowed the 1 sack in the football game, and we ran the ball effectively. So a solid game overall by the offensive line. This week's opponent, Western Kentucky, is 6-2. They're clearly the best team that we will play to this point in the season. They've got a real dark horse, but I think a Heisman candidate at quarterback in Brandon Doughty, who's having a sensational season. He's thrown for 300 yards or 3,000 yards in only 8 games, 27 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, are averaging 41 points per game to this point. 2 very good running backs, Taylor and Dangerfield, are outstanding wide receivers. So this is just a tremendous unit offensively. Defensively, they're much improved over last year. They're very aggressive, very physical, and this is an excellent football team, really good in special teams. So it's a major challenge for us. We're going to need to have a great week of practice, but we'll be excited to get back home and play. And I'll take questions.
Bobby, is there an update on David Washington on his injury?
Yeah, at this point, we haven't got the results back of the MRI, but the x-rays were negative. The doctors do not think he's got a tear of either his MCL or his ACL, but we're waiting the test results. He's very sore. He was very sore after the game yesterday. He's in a walking cast on his leg to keep it immobile so he doesn't bend it. I would think at this point he's not going to be available this weekend. We're just awaiting the results of the MRI that hopefully will confirm there's no structural damage. Other than David, we got a lot of bumps and bruises out of this one. This is clearly the biggest injury report we've had all year. We've got 26 players that are currently on the injury report, a number of them that we hope will be available for the weekend, but it's just too early to tell right now.
Are there starters on that injury list?
Yeah, there are a number of guys who started in this game that got some bumps and bruises through the game that we'll know more today and then tomorrow before practice. But I am hopeful with some of the injuries that we had that they won't keep the guys out this weekend, but we won't know more until tomorrow.
You mentioned the 500 yards, only 12 points. Obviously, it was 4 in the red zone. Is that something that just mystifies you more than anything else? Is there anything you look at and you can tell why it's happening, or is it just more mystifying?
I think it's a product of youth. We've traditionally been a good team in the red zone, and when we've gone back and looked at our red zone productivity, it's been veteran players that make plays in that situation. It's really hard to score in general in the red zone because the defense has the end line as an extra defender. There's not a lot you can do down the field, and the situation right before the half when we didn't score the touchdown, the first pass David throws to Travis Fulgham's a great throw. Travis just can't come in with the ball. The second one, he's a little late on the throw to Duhart, and he catches it but gets pushed out of bounds. And then on the third one, David should have pulled the ball and ran. He handed it to Ray, and the D end had closed down. And that's his read. He should have pulled it and been one-on-one with the safety. So you have to make really quick decisions with the football there, and then as a receiver, you're going to make contested catches. We have veteran players in the past that would make those catches, and we're throwing to younger guys right now that are out there trying. They're giving it their all, but it's an area we'll keep emphasizing and keep working on because we shouldn't be 0 for 4 in the red zone. You have to get points when you get down there, and that's just something we're not doing right now.
What was the mood like in the meeting yesterday, and what was your message to
Frustration. That's as frustrated as I've seen our team, and the message was we need to turn the frustration into motivation. I went back and reviewed last week with them. That was as bad a week of practice as we've had in the season. And it started on Tuesday, Tuesday morning last week. It was a little cold and a little windy, and we didn't handle it very well, so we lost a day there. I explained to them after practice, I said, at the time, we're a 3-3 football team. I said that was a 3-9 practice. And then Wednesday was just a little bit better, and I told them Wednesday that was a 5-7 practice. And by the time you get to Thursday and Friday, your 2 biggest work days are done. Your 2 biggest game plan installation, your full speed and full pads, as close as you can simulate game-like situations happen Tuesday and Wednesday, and we lost those 2 days. And that it showed on Saturday in the critical situations, whether it be third down, which has been a major issue for us, or the red zone, both sides of the ball, because our defense allowed 6 of 8 scores in the red zone, and we were 0 for 4. So those critical situations that we work hard on in full-speed, game-like situations Tuesday and Wednesday, we lost those last week, and it showed. So I really challenged the guys to learn that lesson, because we're young, and this is all new to a lot of them. They don't all comprehend that the game isn't just played Saturday, it's Tuesday and Wednesday, and how critical that is. So challenge them to turn their frustration into motivation and come out and have the best week of practice we've had all year, and we'll see how they respond.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you all for coming. Thank you, 12th Monarchs. We'll look forward to seeing you Saturday at noontime against Western Kentucky.